Someone disrespects you, your chest tightens, your jaw sets, your mind starts preparing a response. You want to fire back. You want to defend your name. You want to prove strength. But here is the truth. Most men do not lose control in crises. They lose control in conversations. A single insult exposes your emotional discipline. So the real question is not, how do I stop people from disrespecting me? The real question is, how do I remain unshaken when they do? Today you will learn why insults trigger you so deeply, the Stoic principle that neutralizes disrespect instantly, when to ignore, when to respond, and when to walk away, how to maintain strength without emotional reaction, how to turn insults into psychological advantage. If you master this, words will stop controlling your state. Let us begin. First, understand this. An insult is sound. It is vibration in the air. Nothing more. What gives it power is your judgment. The Stoic teacher Epictetus said in the Enchiridion, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." When someone calls you incompetent, weak, or foolish, the words do not wound you. Your interpretation does. You add meaning. You attach ego. You decide it threatens your identity. That is where the reaction begins. If you remove the judgment, the insult loses force. This is the first Stoic shift. Separate the event from your interpretation. Someone speaks. That is the event. You decide what it means. That is the interpretation. Control the interpretation. You control the emotional outcome. Now let us address ego. Why do insults feel personal? Because your identity feels fragile. If you are unsure of your value, criticism feels dangerous. If you know your character, insults feel lighter. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations that when someone criticizes you, ask yourself whether it is true. If it is true, correct yourself. If it is false, ignore it. Simple, but not easy. Most men skip this step. They react before evaluating. They defend before thinking. They attack before reflecting. A Stoic evaluates first. He slows the moment down. He refuses to let ego speak before reason. Ask yourself, is this criticism accurate? Is there even a small part of truth in it? Does this reveal something I need to improve? If yes, then it is information. Information helps you improve. Why be angry at useful data? Growth requires feedback. Feedback is not always polite. Sometimes it comes wrapped in insult. If you can extract the lesson without absorbing the emotion, you gain an advantage. If no, then it is noise. Noise does not require a response. Noise does not require defense. Noise fades on its own. Why react to noise? When you train your mind to separate truth from ego, insults lose their sting. You stop protecting image. You start strengthening character. And this mindset alone reduces most emotional reactions before they begin. Now let us talk about respect. Many men believe reacting aggressively protects respect. It often destroys it. Emotional reactivity signals insecurity. Calm signals control. The Stoics valued self-command above dominance. To them, the highest form of strength was mastery over the self, not mastery over others. If another man can control your mood with a sentence, he controls you. That is not strength. That is dependence. You become programmable. He says something. You react automatically. That is impulse, not power. Strength is responding by choice, not impulse. Choice requires space. Pause before you answer. Even one breath creates distance between stimulus and response. That distance is where discipline lies. Silence is powerful. Silence communicates that you are not easily moved. Silence shows that you are evaluating, not reacting. It forces the other person to sit with their own words. Often, they reveal more about themselves than about you. An aggressive man exposing his temper. An insecure man exposing his envy. A frustrated man exposing his instability. When you remain calm, you see clearly. You gather information. You decide whether a response is necessary or whether composure alone is enough. Many conflicts end when one man refuses to escalate. That refusal is not weakness. It is controlled strength. And controlled strength earns deeper respect than loud reactions ever will. There are 3 Stoic responses to disrespect. First, ignore it. Not every insult deserves energy. Attention is a resource. Your time is limited. Your focus determines your strength. If someone insults you out of jealousy or ignorance, Your silence communicates indifference, and indifference is stronger than outrage. Outrage feeds conflict. Silence starves it. When you refuse to react, you deny the other person emotional control. You show that their words do not qualify for your response. That restraint often unsettles them more than anger would. Second, correct calmly. If the insult contains a misunderstanding, respond with clarity. No raised voice. No emotional charge. Just facts. Calm correction often embarrasses aggression. When one man stays composed while the other escalates, the contrast becomes obvious. Your tone communicates confidence. Your steadiness communicates authority. You are not defending ego. You are correcting information. That difference matters. Third, walk away. Not every battle deserves participation. Some environments reward chaos. Some people seek reaction. Engaging them only lowers your position. Seneca warned that anger is temporary madness. When tempers rise, reason falls. If a situation escalates, distance protects your composure. Walking away is not weakness, it is discipline. It says, I value my peace more than this argument. A man who can leave when necessary shows control over himself. And self-control is the foundation of Stoic strength. Now let us go deeper. Sometimes an insult does not hurt because of the other person. It hurts because it touches something you already doubt about yourself. That sting reveals attachment. It reveals ego. It reveals where you seek validation. This is useful information. Epictetus taught that when someone criticizes you, you should examine it carefully. If it is true, correct yourself. If it is false, ignore it. Either way, you stay in control. Most men react before they think. They defend their image. They protect pride. They attack back. That reaction gives the other person power over your emotional state. A Stoic does the opposite. He pauses. He observes his reaction. He asks, why did that affect me? That question builds self-awareness. Every insult becomes training. Training for restraint. Training for emotional control. Training for humility. If the insult is accurate, you gain direction. Now you know what to fix. If it is inaccurate, you gain discipline. Now you practice indifference. You cannot control what people say. You control how you respond. That is strength. Each moment of composure builds reputation. People learn that you are not easy to provoke. And when people cannot provoke you, they lose leverage over you. That is the Stoic advantage. Insults stop being threats. They become tools. And you use them to sharpen your character. Modern culture rewards noise. Platforms amplify conflict. Algorithms push extreme reactions. Outrage spreads faster than restraint. Look at how debates trend on X or TikTok. The most emotional clips travel the furthest. Calm responses rarely go viral. But viral does not mean valuable. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations that people act out of ignorance of good and evil. He reminded himself of this daily. Not to excuse bad behavior. To prevent anger from controlling him. When someone insults you, pause. Ask what drives that behavior. Insecurity. Frustration. Envy. Limited self-control. You do not need to internalize their state. If someone feels small, they try to make others feel small. If someone lacks discipline, they provoke. Why let their confusion become your instability? Compassion often replaces anger, not softness. Clarity. You see the mechanism behind the behavior. You recognize projection. You understand that emotional people broadcast their inner chaos outward. You refuse to absorb it. Calm does not mean silence in the face of injustice. It means you respond with intention. You choose timing. You choose tone. You choose whether to engage at all. That control is power. While others chase attention through outrage, you build authority through composure. Over time, people trust the man who stays steady under pressure. That trust compounds. And the one who remains calm holds the advantage. Let us make this practical. Next time someone disrespects you. Step 1. Pause. Do not respond immediately. Control starts in that gap between stimulus and response. Most damage happens in the first 5 seconds. Your silence shifts the power dynamic. They expect reaction. You give restraint. That alone unsettles impulsive people. Step 2. Analyze. Is it true? If yes, accept it without ego and adjust. Is it useful? If yes, extract the lesson and discard the tone. Is it noise? If yes, treat it like background sound. Not everything deserves mental space. This step separates emotion from evaluation. You think before you act. Step 3. Choose. Ignore. Correct calmly. Or disengage. But choose deliberately. Do not drift into reaction. Decision restores authority over your state. This 3-step system protects your composure. It prevents regret. It prevents escalation. It keeps your reputation intact. Practice it deliberately. Start with small situations. Online comments. Minor criticism. Casual disrespect. Repetition builds control. Composure under insult is a skill. You train it like strength. Under pressure. With repetition. Until calm becomes your default response. Now understand this. You cannot control whether people insult you. You can control whether you insult yourself. You insult yourself when you react without discipline. When you shout. When you argue to win approval. When you let emotion drag you into behavior beneath your standards. That costs you more than the original insult. When you lose control publicly, you weaken your position. People remember emotional reactions. They question your stability. They test you more. When you remain composed, you strengthen it. Calm signals confidence. Control signals maturity. People think twice before provoking someone who does not break. A steady man does not need to prove dominance. He does not compete for the last word. He does not chase validation. His restraint proves it. Silence can communicate status. Measured words command more respect than volume. The Stoic way is not passive. It requires effort. It demands self-command. It is disciplined. You feel the surge of anger. You choose not to obey it. It is controlled power. Power that answers to reason, not impulse. It is strength without noise. Strength that does not advertise itself. Strength that remains stable under pressure. And stability is rare. That rarity makes it powerful. Here is the final truth. Words only wound when your identity depends on reputation. Reputation lives in other people's minds. It shifts. It changes. It depends on perception. If you build your identity there, you hand strangers control over your stability. Build identity on character instead. Character lives in your actions, in your habits, in what you do when no one watches. Character does not collapse because someone speaks against you. Character shows itself through consistency. Character cannot be insulted. Character can only be demonstrated. If you live with discipline, integrity, and self-command, insults lose force. They may be loud, they may be public, but they do not alter your standards. Because you know who you are, you know your effort, you know your values, you know the work you put in daily, and a man who knows who he is cannot be shaken by opinions. Opinions fluctuate. Principles do not. That is the difference. If you want to build that level of mental discipline, subscribe. Train your mind weekly. Apply the principles. Test them under pressure. Because in a loud world full of reactive men, the calm man stands out. He does not chase attention. He commands respect. Calm under disrespect is rare strength. And rare strength always separates you from the crowd.